Welcome to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest news, trends, and innovations from thought leaders from within the digital infrastructure industry. I'm Dean Perrine, and we are coming at you live. That's right, gentlemen. We are live at PTC 2026 in beautiful Honolulu, Hawaii. And these two good-looking guys to my right are Emilio Vicens. Emilio is the CEO of Gray Oak Power, and we have Mr. Timothy Radcliff. Timothy is the managing director of Denham Capital. Gentlemen, welcome to JSA TV.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So, guys, the show, it's huge this year, right? There's some estimates are it's almost twice as big as it was last year. Are you seeing that kind of traffic?
Close to 7,000 people. So quite a big show. Yeah.
It's been very productive. Yeah.
So, so let's just get to it. As part of your appearing here at PTC, you just dropped some pretty significant news. Emilio, why don't you tell our viewers about that news?
Sure, of course, Dan. Thank you so much for having us, first of all.
You bet.
But yes, of course. I mean, last week we actually launched our first effort on the data center front with the launch of Gray Oak Power, which we've been working for a number of months now. Developing obviously the strategy, but also developing a portfolio of assets in which we can base our initial efforts on. So yes, it's been tremendously rewarding, and of course it's a very interesting opportunity for us as power developers to be able to provide to our final consumers, which is a data center, solutions that are in essence the core of what they are right now, which is being able to bring power to the table in a fast and timely manner.
Arguably the single biggest challenge that data centers are having right now, you're solving for that.
Exactly. Yeah. That's basically the point.
Yeah.
So we as a company have been around for some time in terms of the team, and we have done close to 10 gigawatts of power generation, mostly on the thermal front. And that is basically the core of being able to provide to these data centers, obviously solutions that addresses the issue of time to market and being unable to obviously contract with the distribution companies, which was a model until very recently.
Yeah.
Now you have to bring your own power, and you have to be able to power your assets on a standalone basis, on a behind the meter basis, and that's where we come from. No, so that's our background, and so we're dealing in a very exciting time for our industry. No,
it absolutely is an exciting time. So congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
And with that, Tim, Gray Oak Power, why is now the right time? Why was a week ago that time for you?
Well, so it's actually been a long time in the making. As Emilio mentioned, the press release dropped last week, but it's been months, and I would argue actually years in the making, in the sense that Denham Capital actually backed a prior predecessor company of Gray Oak Power. We've been working together for the better part of the decade, developing, building power plants. But as 20-year plus veterans in the power industry, we're no strangers and have directly experienced a lot of the grid interconnection issues that a lot of the data center developers, hyperscalers are facing today. Combine that with reliability issues on the grid, as a lot of generation resources
Hearing
retire.
a lot about that. Yep.
It's a very real thing. And it's very clear to us that there is a need for folks that have experience building power plants. It's not simple infrastructure.
It's not
to build. Technically, commercially, legally, there's a whole lot of complexity there. And so we think now is the time because there is just this very clear demand signal for power. And we'll talk a little bit about our strategy of how we're going to market, but that's kind of our thesis around it.
Yeah, it's interesting because a year ago, now mind you, we've been talking about the power challenges for a long time, but a year ago, we were talking about it in like almost hypotheticals to some degree. Nuclear was still like part of the discussion, and then people were like, whoa, we need to. There's going to be a lot of intermediate steps that need to happen between now and then, and so now it feels a little more mature. It feels like what's being done is actually real, which is great. So, Emilio, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit specifically about your solutions and the benefits to the customer?
Yes, I mean, I like to make sure that people understand that we are power people. We're not data center people,
right.
And we have very good people doing data center stuff, and those are our customers.
Yeah.
From our perspective, what we solve is a power equation. and that's what we're good at. And as Tim mentioned, building power plants on a standalone basis to deliver power to consumers on an inside the frame basis requires significant knowledge, significant know-how, and that's what we try to bring to the table. No, I mean, we have worked obviously with all the manufacturers and all the legal teams, all the regulatory bodies. So that's our DNA, and that's what we like to do, and that's what we understand as a company. And of course, the data center folks can stick to what they're good at, which is delivering data center services to their clients. We stick to what we're good at, which is delivering power and energy to the final consumer, in this case being a data center. So,
Emilio, I think you just touched on something that might be arguably the biggest difference between what the show is today and what it might have been 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, for that matter. And that is, it used to be highly, and it's not that there aren't dozens, hundreds perhaps, of data center operators in this building or on this campus right now, but there are an increasingly larger number of supporting folks here, the applications folks, the power folks. There's a lot. The ecosystem has expanded tremendously over the last few years, and folks like you are becoming increasingly important and a significant part of the ecosystem and ultimately that application layer.
correct. That's the right way of seeing it.
Yeah.
Frankly speaking, without power, you don't have data centers. Before, you were able to tie into the grid, and you had no problem doing so.
Yeah.
And many of the biggest data centers in the world have done that for decades. Actually, now it's not that simple. You have issues on the grid side. You have issues on the regulatory front. You have issues also on the community front, and therefore, you need solutions that take you around those challenges, and that's where we come at, and that's our value proposition.
Yeah, and I love that you said around the challenges and not through the challenges, because the way you describe it, there's a little less friction there. So I like that. So Emilio, for our viewers that want to learn more about Gray Oak, where should they go? What should they do?
Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, if you have a power issue, we're there to try to support you. So therefore, anybody on the data center space that has challenges, no matter what the challenge is, but general challenges on being able to get power, they should be talking to people like us, and certainly to us. For the best way to reach us is obviously to our website, grayoakpower.com. It's the best way to do so. And if you do so, of course, we're going to reach back and we're going to try to understand your problem, and as such, try to work something out that is good, or that solves your issues as you move forward. No,
I love it. And okay, so finally, we're going to wrap with this, Tim. Let's talk trends, man. I know that you've had your finger on the pulse of kind of the trends of the industry for some time. What are you seeing? What's big right now?
Yeah, well, I love the observation about the growing ecosystem of players. To us, partnership is everything in this space. There are constraints everywhere as we look around the data center industry, no more important than power, at least in our view, at least right now. And so, finding good partners, finding trusted partners, we think is going to be the name of the game. And that's what we're here to be, is that trusted power solution provider. And equally, we're looking for data center developers that we can trust, credible people that can deliver infrastructure, have done it before, and will continue to do it into the future. So partnerships would be the one that I would pick.
Yeah, I believe it. And you just mentioned like that people aspect. Having met a number of the Gray Oak Power people, y'all are good people, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, thank you. Very cool, very cool. And thank you guys for being here.
Same here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You bet. And thank you, viewers, for watching JSA TV. We'll see you very soon.